Okay, so this time around, we're going to be looking at renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Renin angiotensin aldosterone system, and this is known as the RAAS system. RAAS. Now, the RAAS is a hormone system that functions, that has three major functions: regulation of blood pressure, regulation of volume, and then regulation of sodium balance. Generally electrolyte balance, but mainly sodium balance. Now, the first stage of the RAS, or the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, is the release of the enzyme renin. Now, renin is released from the juxtaglomerular apparatus, of the kidney. And renin release is in response to either sodium reduction, or low blood pressure, or a reduction in blood volume. So that means for renin to be released, there has to be, one of the triggers is low sodium. Another trigger for release of renin is reduced blood pressure. And then another signal also for the secretion of renin is reduced blood volume. Now, when renal blood flow, or blood volume, or sodium level is reduced, the renin is secreted directly into the circulation. And so when renin is secreted directly into the circulation, renin goes ahead to convert angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen is a precursor protein that normally is produced, is released by the liver, and is in the circulation normally. But it is just there doing no function, just going about until it gets to its time of clearance. If it's not needed for anything, it will be cleared off. But it is always in circulation. Now, when renin is secreted, renin acts on angiotensinogen, converting angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Now, angiotensinogen, or angiotensin 1, is now converted into angiotensin 2 by the action of angiotensin converting enzyme. So while renin converts angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, angiotensin 1 will now be converted to angiotensin 2 by the action of angiotensin converting enzyme. And this angiotensin converting enzyme is produced in the lungs. So it is in the lungs that the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2 is effected. And then once that is done, angiotensin 2 is released into the circulation. So now angiotensin 2 is the major compound of action in the RAS. So that means if there's anything blocking the formation of angiotensin 2, the RAS cannot effectively function. So what happens now with angiotensin 2? Angiotensin 2 functions differently to cause various action. So we'll look at the various functions of angiotensin 2. We'll discuss it. First of all, we'll look at the effect of this angiotensin 2 on the cardiovascular system. Now, first, angiotensin 2 acts on the ATI receptor. ATI receptor is usually found on the endothelium of the arterioles, and it exists throughout the circulation. And now what happens is that once angiotensin 2 acts on the ATI receptors, there is vasoconstriction. And so when there's vasoconstriction, what happens is that that resistance as a result of vasoconstriction results in increase in blood pressure. So with that, angiotensin 2 has successfully effected the restoration of blood pressure. Now, apart from that, Angiotensin 2 has the ability to trigger the hypothalamus to stimulate the test center to release to increase water consumption. And so when there is water consumption, there is increase in blood volume, and there's also increase in blood pressure. So with that, blood volume is restored and blood pressure is also restored. Now, also, angiotensin 2 has the ability to trigger the secretion of ADH from the posterior pituitary that will result in the water conservation. So that means in a situation where there is low blood volume, angiotensin 2 can trigger the release of ADH that will further go to the kidney, particularly the collecting duct of the kidney, to act on the kidney to conserve water. So you can see that with that, blood volume is also restored that way as well. So you can see that angiotensin 2 has multi functions as well. Now, apart from that, we look at another effect of the angiotensin 2. Now, angiotensin 2 also has its effect on the kidney directly. Now, how? Angiotensin 2 acts on the kidney to produce effects such as constriction of the blood vessels around the kidney, which is the afferent and efferent arterioles, and also to increase, it has an effect on increasing the reabsorption of sodium from the proximal convoluted tubule. How does it work? Well, how does it work? Now, um, the angiotensin 2, how does it affect, apart from the fact that it has its direct effect on constricting the blood vessels of the kidney, what it does is that angiotensin 2 acts on the adrenal cortex to stimulate aldosterone secretion from the adrenal cortex. Now, what aldosterone we know is a mineralocorticoid that is released from the adrenal cortex. Now, what it does is that it acts on the principal cells of the collecting duct of the kidney. And when that is done, that action, what it does is that it opens up the um, epithelial sodium channel to reabsorb urinary sodium. So that means the sodium that has been filtered through the glomerulus into the glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed back into the circulation. And so when that sodium is being reabsorbed, remember that low sodium is part of the trigger of ROAS. When sodium is reabsorbed, in exchange for sodium, potassium is secreted out of the circulation into the glomerular filtrate. So when from sodium is entering back into circulation to the glomerular from the glomerular filtrate, potassium is also secreted back into the glomerular filtrate in exchange for sodium. So with that, you see that aldosterone has successfully triggered the conservation of sodium or the restoration of sodium. So because of that, you see that potassium is also secreted. So as a result, as a result of the increased aldosterone, there is also reduction in sodium and potassium, sorry, and then there is an increase in sodium. So we have said that um angiotensin 2, what it does is that it has ability to conserve water. We have explained it. It has ability to restore blood pressure, and we have explained that as well. And it also has the ability to restore or to conserve sodium through its action on the kidney. So RAS system, when it's triggered, it restores blood pressure, it restores blood volume, it restores sodium concentration. Okay, thank you.